Love and longing. All right, little ladies, young men, we have finished our basic lessons in modern Cinder Tongue. Tomorrow will be in galactic trade, which means it's now time for physical and axiom education before you're out for the day in schooling. Any questions? Styles calls out over the crowd. No? Are you sure? A hand is raised from a young boy. Yes? Why can I hear the wind even though there's no wind? He asks. That's not the wind, that's the forest. Part of your axiom education is learning how to listen. Any other questions? Styles asks, and there's no other raised hands. Great. Now meet your next teachers. There's a gasp as a quartet of Apuk women in gorgeous and ornate dresses reveal themselves to have been there the whole time, hiding behind warfire distortion so subtle that even the heat haze was effectively invisible as well. There's a slight gasp and a few girls scoot back, but the awe of being around battle princesses generally overcomes the fear of authority. Hello, children. We've been asked by our husbands and friends to help out every other day to see to you girls being healthy, happy, and strong. Now everyone rise. The girls are with us. Healthy bodies have healthy minds and can lead to happy, wholesome lives. The princess in a shimmering white gown explains before clapping her delicately gloved hands. Really? But we're in the dark forest. It's chosen to protect you, your safe children. Young boys with me, I'm going to get you to listen to the dark forest and then some climbing practice, Styles says as he holds up a hand. If you're not walking, then I'm grabbing you with axiom, and you'll be upside down when you're set down. We need to talk. Vali Harcool whispers to Jate Barless as they all get up to follow the battle princesses. I want nothing to do with you, Jate Barless hisses. You think I want to talk with you? You're a Barless, stupid and evil, Vali Harcool snaps. And you're a Harcool. Rotten sludge is your blood, and your words are poison. Jate Barless returns, moving to shove Vali Harcool away, and is suddenly a step behind her, and her hand meets empty air. Vali Harcool slows down. We're still in... She begins only for Jate to throw a punch and is once again forced to miss. Vali loses her patience and dives at Jate only to land on soft moss just outside the crowd. That's enough of that. Get back up and follow us. We're working on your running forms first. There's a right way and a wrong way to do everything. And if you run wrong, you'll just hurt yourself, get tired, and be knocked around easy. So let's get those forms right. Jate stands up again, muttering about stupid Harcools getting her in trouble as she starts chasing after the group. She spares a glance back to see all the boys sitting in a circle nearby Styles, who's explaining something she can't hear. Lucky little... My butt hurts, one of the boys says almost right away, and Styles gives him an odd look. Already? We've been studying for hours. So you're bored, tired of sitting around and want to do almost anything else than sit around and listen? Styles asks, and there's a lot of nodding. He grins and stands up then. Good. That's the first lesson. What? You cannot force this. You can't make it happen if it's not going to happen. You can't grow moss underwater. You can't grow a tree in loose sand. Nature has its own answers to every problem. Trying to use the wrong answer on a problem just means it doesn't work. You all want to do something. Then follow me. I'm going to tire you all down so you can sit down without a problem. Follow me. He then starts jogging away. Then starts jogging backwards when none of the children follow him, and jogs in place as he speaks. Come on, guys, work with me. Let's go. Don't you want to run around, climb trees, and chase animals? But what if we get hurt? One of the boys asks. Then we do what we have to help it heal and get back to having fun as we get healthy. Styles offers, and the kids start standing up. Come on, these are practical skills that make you stronger. Let's make you stronger and have fun. He then rushes off at a jog as the kids scramble after him. There we go. Now you 6 kids are going to be teamed up under 3 other sorcerers in training, and they'll be underneath an older one still. I'll be supervising him. Dirk Barless, Stills Harkul, over here. Mux Moro calls out, rushing up. We're climbing that tree. You need to see the green sea. It's so cool. Mux is a few inches taller than his 2 fellows as Kals Tarn and Jeth Urla rush up as well. Gor Harkul, Cyril Barless, we're playing tag. I'm it, Jeth Urla exclaims, rushing up to the other 2. They scatter and Jeth's strides start becoming supernaturally long as the forest starts nudging him along for some speed. Hey, over here! We're going to play hide and seek. The forest is going to help both you and me, but I know how to listen better. So you better figure it out or I'll keep winning, Kals Tarn says, waving the last 2 over to himself. The 2 boys actually share the same first name of Burn, which is exactly why they were being paired up. You're an asshole, Derchar says, as he wood walks up to where Styles had come to a stop. The sorcerer just gives his junior a toothy smile. You do know I'm a fully realized sorcerer, right? That training in these arts becomes a lot easier as you grow up? I know, but as you watch the kids, I'm going to be watching you. The kids here, the kids there, and more. Practice, practice, practice. You don't get better by sitting around doing nothing, Styles says, pointing to where the battle princesses are slowly chasing the girls around the village. Right, fine. At least my aunts are too busy chasing little girls to gush over how cute I am, Derchar says as he hears a few snippets of advice from the battle princesses on how the girls can improve their running posture. Gotcha, Jeth Urla calls out as he grabs Cyril Barless, then starts running even faster at Gor Harkul, who yelps and starts to move. But the term too little, too late is applicable. That's the spirit, Styles remarks before vanishing to the top of a nearby building. His physical eyes close, but he's no longer using flesh and blood to see the world around him. All right, girls, line up and stop mucking around. You want to whack at each other? Here's your chance, the battle princess in green declares, and all the girls start looking at her expectantly. We're going to be going on to weapon drills, so you'll all be getting a practice sword and split into pairs. One will defend and the other will attack 10 times. Then you will trade. These combat drills will be the only time you're allowed to hit each other, and if you try to actually hurt each other, you will lose even that. Understand? There's a lot of muttering, and the princess suddenly has a full-sized war sword sheathed in green fire held over her head. If you ever want one of these, then you will understand. Now, do you understand me? Yes, the girls shout as they look up in awe at the massive barbed blade and feel the sheer heat wash over them. Very good. Now then, she says before suddenly pulling out a small object from a hidden pocket in her gown, and it expands into a massive shelf that unfolds to reveal dozens upon dozens of padded practice war swords. Each and every one of you is getting one of these. You are to know where it is at all times, preferably in your room if you're not using it. Stealing it will result in your own being lost, and you will be taught how to repair these as well. Maintaining a weapon is just as important as learning how to use one. A worn-away and fragile weapon is worthless. Do you understand me? Yes. Yes, who? Yes, princess. Wonderful. Now everyone pair up. If there's anyone left over, then she's going to be getting special attention. And no one teams up with their own family. Every Barlis faces a Harkul, and every Harkul faces a Barlis, she calls out, and there's a lot of grumbling at that. Oh? So you don't want a chance to have a free whack at the other family? I thought you hated each other or something. Brinchar leans against the side of a building as he watches the crowds of training children. Yes, the training was to keep them healthy and strong, but it was also meant to de-escalate. Get the children in the mindset that it's all just friendly competition. They wanted to oppose each other? Okay, here's how you do it. You seem pensive, my dear, Yarichar says, and Brinchar offers her a half-hearted smile. Not sure this will work? No, I'm not. I mean, it's hard for me to think that something like this can set it aside. Hatred and vengeance. Well, I'm kind of the face of that for sorcerers. I appreciate that others see how frightening it is. I don't want any of our children to go down such a path. But it is necessary. The Barlis and Harkul are each covered in the blood of the other. Can it be washed away? Will it ever be washed away if we don't try? Yarichar asks. Impossible tasks are even more so if they're never started. I know, it's just... Brinchar begins before his mind flashes to a cave with an ornate casket and skulls in the walls. Zul... Yari embraces him from behind and taps her horn against him. Live for love, don't die for it. What would happen to Dare if you were to misplace your ancient rage? What would he learn? What kind of life would he live with that lesson? One I would never wish upon him, or any child of ours, Brinchar says, and his gaze softens as he looks over to where the children are flailing around with practice weapons. Or even on strangers. What did that human tell me? Everyone cries out for help. I still say he was quoting something, Yarichar says. I agree, but I still haven't found it. The humans brought a dizzying amount of entertainment with them. How they managed to get bored with it all in a mere 4 months is baffling, Brinchar says. Oh, that's easy. They're young. Even their elders are scarcely more than pups. The ones that seem patient are actually doing a dozen little things at once. Rare is the monkey that can just sit still and be, Yarichar says, and Brinchar chuckles at that. They are a silly bunch, aren't they? But I like the audacity. I'll never have to ask if anyone wants to try something stupid again. They'll have perfected it before I can even think to suggest it. Brinchar notes before smiling as he sees Darechar catch a falling child by woodwalking partway up a tree and grabbing him only a meter below where the boy lost his grip. He can't hear the joking admonishment with his physical ears, but he is of the forest, and the forest can clearly see the smile and hear the friendly tone. Well, I think things will turn out a little different. It's easy to hate when you don't have a face or name to it. But this is going to change Barlis and Harkul from words that mean hatred to a person's name. They will eat together, practice together, learn together, and play together. Hating the random woman from the other family that's killed many of yours is easy. Hating little so-and-so that you trained with and sat beside in math class is very different. Even if you don't know their name, they're a person. The Orega girls had names I couldn't find myself caring. Yes, but you go into a psychotic break when you find them and start hearing your brother scream again. It's a little different. Yes, it's very personal for me. Just as a specific CEO and business with a central location was very personal for Morg Arkan, or any number of warriors, banners, or family lines for sorcerers since the dawn of the Apuk people. There's no shame in it. It's kept us from the worst of ourselves. Knowing always that if things are taken too far, then brutal retribution awaits, and you can't hide from it, nor run, Yarichar says. They need to be here now. Sorcery is part of their little competition, and the sheer collateral will break their homeland if sorcerers war. We don't war. Even if we weren't interfering, then the rumor of the Barlis boys being sorcerers would have inspired the Harkul to try the same. At that point, humans or not, arrests or not, adoption or not, the forest would have interfered. It doesn't like its family fighting, Yarichar asks, and Brinchar nods out to the practicing children. You tell me, or you tell me, what is it like fighting another sorcerer? It doesn't happen, Brinchar says, and she scoffs. Surely you're joking, right? I mean, we are one with the forest, all of us. It makes understanding each other and settling things easy. There have been some spars to settle grievances, but those were more high-intensity training than a fight to the death. We not enemies with each other, we can't be. The forest shares everything with us, and us with it, including our pain. Which is why you never forget. The forest is so old that holding a grudge for 1,000 years to it is like still being upset a minute later to us. Yari-Char clarifies. I know. You've told me. It's an excellent excuse for you to go out and hunt criminals again. Excuse nothing. It's a fact, my dear. How did I ever fall for you? I believe it was the headbutt that mutually broke a horn off. Bryn-Char notes and Yari-Char giggles. Yes, the spirit you have is so... She lets out a sigh of contentment at that.